What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Shameless Watch Collector. As most of you know, I take being an AliExpress watch expert very seriously. I want to be Mr. AliExpress when it comes to YouTube and watch shopping, and I really strive to have a better pulse on the AliExpress marketplace than anyone. I want to be the one who knows about new watches, new brands, new anything before anyone else. So you can only imagine how surprised I was when a brand making really solid and beautiful automatic watches, mostly sold on AliExpress, somehow slipped under my radar. But that's exactly what happened with the brand we're looking at today. Ever heard of Starking? Because I hadn't. Today, we start our Starking series. This new-to-me AliExpress brand sent me 3 of their newest watches to take an honest, in-depth look at. And today, we're starting with the AM0184. Let's get into it. I feel like the intro pretty much laid out who Starking is. They're from China. AliExpress looks to be their primary marketplace, even over their own website, and their focus seems to be on value and execution. I don't want to give up too much before the price section, but I will say this. The prices here are wild. Prices that immediately put them in the conversation for some of the best value pieces on all of AliExpress, which, as some of you may know, is a massive claim. Alright, let's get into this AM0184 review, working through our usual categories. Starting with dimensions. This watch is confidently, yet intentionally sized. It comes in right where I personally want a watch like this to be, but I think opinions here may vary quite a bit. The diameter here is 40mm with a case thickness of 11.5, and the bracelet tapers down from 20mm to 18. So with a size like that, you're gonna have plenty of wrist presence for most people. However, it may still not be big enough for bigger wrists and a little too much for smaller wrists. But for those who fit somewhere in the middle, like myself, this is exactly where I want watches like this to be sized. Enough to have serious wrist presence, but enough restraint to still be comfortable. And with a weight of 130 grams, including the steel bracelet, this watch's weight delivers a presence that feels consistent with its size. In terms of how this watch sits on wrist, it's very impressive. It fits flush and quickly disappears. This is an exceptionally comfortable watch, especially considering the stainless steel bracelet. Let's keep it moving with materials. Now more than ever, I hate that I have price as my last category for reviews, and I might change it in the future, because I feel like I might lose some of you here, and some of this isn't gonna make sense until you hear the price. So I'll just say this going in. As an overall theme of this brand, Starking seems to do what makes sense. They seem to make phenomenal use of their budget, but they also aren't a brand where their materials feel disconnected from the price point. Actually, it may make the most sense of almost any brand we've ever discussed. The stainless steel here is a material that is a first for an SWC in-depth review. 304L stainless steel. 304L and 316L are both corrosion-resistant stainless steels, but 316L is generally the better, more premium choice for watches. 304L stainless steel is a common stainless steel used in a lot of everyday products, appliances, kitchen equipment, architecture, cheaper watch cases, bracelets, and plenty of other things. It has good corrosion resistance, but it's more vulnerable to things like salt water, sweat, humidity, and chemicals over time. The big difference is that 316L contains molybdenum, which gives it better resistance to corrosion, especially from salt and acids. That matters for watches because they sit against your skin, collect sweat, and may get exposed to water. The L in both means low carbon. That helps reduce corrosion issues from welds and makes the steel more stable in certain manufacturing situations. For watches, the primary takeaway is that both are decent, but 316L is more corrosion resistant and more desirable. This specific 304 stainless steel is interesting. It looks fine, especially the brush to polish transitions on the bracelet, which look particularly nice. However, and this might sound confusing, the visual substance of this watch looks cheap, kind of like an entry-level Casio. It just looks thin and cheaper than it feels on wrist, or even when holding the watch. Overall, it's one of the more puzzling experiences I've ever had with a stainless steel bracelet. I can't entirely tell if what I'm handling feels too cheap or if it's actually really impressively executed for what it is. I will say, the links were very easy to change, and this bracelet is not a hair puller in the slightest. Even with the lack of micro adjustability due to the bracelet clasp, it was easy for me to find a perfect fit, and it's a very easy watch to throw on and forget about. One thing that does stick out about both the bracelet and case is just how soft this 304 stainless steel feels, which really does add to the wearing experience. There's a leather strap version of this watch as well for a slightly lower price. And I will say, the watch looks fantastic on a leather strap, but I can't speak to its quality. The case itself looks good with its polished bezel, which complements the elegant dial design nicely. Visually, everything looks more premium than you'd expect when you look at the watch on paper. You have a screw-down transparent case back that looks great, as well as a push-pull crown. In a lot of the mock-up photos, the crown is engraved with the Starking logo, but in my example, the crown is sterile, which is a huge bummer. I really enjoy the look of their logo engraved on the crown, and it helps distract from the fact that it's a push-pull. All this helps the watch achieve 50 meters of water resistance, which is fine for a watch in this style, but nothing to write home about. Everything here will make a lot more sense once we get to the price section, but it won't blow you away either. Let's find out what's powering this watch and talk movement. This is an automatic watch, and that is all Starking is going to tell you. None of the AliExpress listings or images actually list what specific movement this is, which is honestly so frustrating because when brands do that, they're essentially telling us anyway. It's certainly not a Miyota or Seiko. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, but I believe this is a Chinese Mingzhou 2813 or DG 2813 style automatic movement. And what really frustrates me is that this isn't that bad of a movement. It's somewhat reliable, the second-hand sweep is pretty nice, and they even decorated this one in a way that I genuinely enjoy. But what I really don't enjoy, and this isn't exclusive to Starking, this is pretty much every single brand that uses these movements, is how ashamed brands act of using them. Believe it or not, watch owners usually want to know the specific movement powering their watch, especially when it's an automatic. I've also never understood the idea of putting a movement behind an exhibition caseback when you're too embarrassed to actually list what it is. A watch that is listed as automatic while the specific movement is nearly impossible to find online makes me feel like it's either A, actually not an automatic, or B, a cheap-ass, embarrassing automatic movement. This watch really isn't either of those things. And like I said, I absolutely adore the work they did on the center of this movement, with their logo worked into the rotor. So either list what the movement is or don't use it at all. The cheapest and ickiest option is not being willing to list specifics. Let's talk dial and design. This watch definitely gives me Seiko SARB033 vibes, while also feeling like its own thing, and overall, it's very nice to look at. The design here is minimalist, simple, and quite elegant. This is a really nice watch to throw on your wrist that looks good with just about anything, and overall looks far above its price point. It starts with the really nice piano-ish black dial. It has a nice shine to it while not looking too cheap at all. It has a really nice balance between a satin and a gloss finish. The white typography for the logo and text around 6 o'clock looks vibrant and clear, but I can't help but wonder how much better it would look with a polished logo to match the indices. Speaking of the indices, they look fantastic from a glance, but upon close inspection, I would personally prefer a little more substance. I do think that's a very subjective opinion though, because these indices do still look premium overall, and they fit beautifully with the design of the watch. The polishing itself looks wonderful too. I've just always preferred indices that stand taller and more prominently on the dial. However, these particular Starking indices feel more like a design choice than cheap material. The date display at 3 o'clock looks good, with a really nice and modern font on the date wheel, which is perfectly centered. However, I do think a polished frame here would make all the difference in the world and make the style look that much more premium. The polished hands look fantastic with everything else going on as well. Covering this dial is synthetic sapphire crystal, which is far and away the most impressive material on this entire watch, and it looks great. However, this watch would greatly benefit from either anti-reflective coating or some kind of anti-fingerprint treatment on the crystal, because it is extremely difficult to keep this crystal looking perfect, as I'm sure you've seen in some of the photos. There's no lume anywhere in this watch, which I think is fine. I don't think pieces designed like this need lume shoehorned in somewhere, and if you take this watch camping or scuba diving, I worry about you. The little design details that I love aren't really anywhere to be found outside the mystery automatic movement behind the exhibition caseback. You have a sterile crown, sterile clasp, But again, I do adore the rotor work on the movement, easily one of my favorite elements of the entire piece. And finally, the design of the bracelet and case works wonderfully with everything on the dial. I love how many polished elements they worked into the stainless steel because it really helps the polished parts of the dial pop that much more. I really can't stress enough how much more expensive this watch looks than it is. And speaking of, let's finally get to price and value. The Starking AM0184 can be found for $61 with the leather strap or $73 with the stainless steel bracelet on AliExpress. Told you guys the price is where everything gets really confusing and really clear at the same time. And here's why. This watch is priced so low that it almost qualifies for our Does It Suck series, which requires automatics to be below $50. So during big sales, this watch is probably possible to get in Does It Suck territory. And I'll tell you this watch would 1000% be considered a cheat code if it was in a Does It Suck episode. This watch walks circles around, laughs at, and embarrasses the other cheap automatics that I have handled for that series. But it still feels imperfect, and some elements of it, like the mystery automatic movement, do feel consistent with those watches. Then things like the really impressive, albeit 304L, stainless steel bracelet and synthetic sapphire crystal make this watch feel like a steal. I don't know, this is a confusing one. Let's attempt to give this watch a final grade. Oh boy, this may be the toughest watch I've ever had to score, but the Starking AM0184 is going to get a B. After reviewing everything, there are two words that I think perfectly encapsulate this watch: amazing potential. There's a lot of good here, but almost just as much that is either so close to being good, or unfortunately, flat out lackluster. Starting with the good, because there is plenty, I love how this watch is sized. The 40mm diameter gives it what I consider perfect wrist presence, and the very nice 11.5mm thickness helps it wear very flush on wrist. While this is not the usual 316L stainless steel that we're used to, I appreciate Starking's transparency with the material being used, and it's very well executed, soft, and comfortable. And let's be honest with ourselves here, so many brands on AliExpress are claiming their stuff is 316L when it's anything but that. So it's nice to know the specific material here, because I know in what context I should and shouldn't wear this watch. And that applies to the water resistance as well. 50 meters is fine, as this isn't a watch that I intend to go swimming with anyway. The bracelet itself is a bizarre mixture of looking premium and cheap at the same time. The substance I usually like when it comes to the thickness of a stainless steel bracelet just isn't there. But the brushed and polished design, along with its overall glow, actually looks really good and definitely approaches the look of 316L. The design itself is very nice, understated, and elegant. This feels like a watch you can wear to a nice dinner with a good outfit, and it'll look far, far more expensive than it actually is. And on wrist, it doesn't look inexpensive when you look down. It wears as comfortably as a watch 5 times its price as well. And the price on this watch might be its strongest point, and certainly its biggest excuse for a lot of the shortcomings. Because under $75 for a watch like this feels like undeniable value, especially the $60 leather strap version. That feels like a no-brainer. But then there's the stuff that feels consistent with, and sometimes worse than the very reasonable price. The push-pull crown feels boring and cheap, and I really wish it had the logo engraved on it like the online mock-ups did. The mystery around the movement is my biggest complaint about this watch, and it's not even close. The inconsistency of being transparent about the stainless steel material used here, while being ambiguous about the automatic movement behind the exhibition caseback, blows my freaking mind in a way that genuinely annoys me. I think it's a DG2813, but I don't want to have to research the automatic movement powering my watch. Tell me what it is. One of my biggest pet peeves is automatic watches that are just automatic for the sake of it. No attention to the movement, no listing of what it is, just wanting to check that box. That bothers me. This watch is nearly guilty of all of that, besides the rotor work, which I really enjoy. Just say what it is, Starking. Stand behind your cheap Chinese automatic movement. Most of us won't judge you, I promise. We'll certainly judge you less than we will when you keep us in the dark about it. I'm not going to take points off for things like the lack of prominence on the polish indices, because I think that's a design choice and the polishing looks wonderful. I'm also not going to remove points for the lack of lume, because I don't care if it's on a watch this style. However, I would have given bonus points for more attention to detail on things like the logo on the dial and the date window. Some polishing there, quite literally, like a polished Star King logo or a polished frame around that date window would have made a massive difference on this watch in my opinion. Overall though, this is a solid watch. Everything here that I consider imperfect is easily fixable, and I think Star King has the means to fix it. They're still a fairly new brand, and they still seem to be finding their way as well. This is an incredibly priced watch that is worth taking the dive on, and I think it's going to earn Star King some new fans. It does just enough to make you curious about their future releases and where they can improve. They have so much figured out already, and I love the space in the watch marketplace that they're trying to occupy. This watch shows all the potential to build something seriously impressive, and I will definitely be rooting for them. Thank you to Star King for providing this watch to the channel for us to take an honest, in-depth look at, along with the other two that we'll be looking at over the coming weeks. Thank you so much for watching this SWC watch review. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Star King AM0184. And I'll leave this watch linked in the description for those who want to check it out. Get ready for another rapid fire week of reviews, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. Thank you all so much for the support, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, Shameless Watch Collector signing out. And always remember, it's not that serious.